Have you ever felt taken advantage of in a relationship? If so, this video is going to share with you the 3 signs that you are giving away your power in a relationship, but more importantly, how you get that back. If we haven't had the pleasure of meeting yet, I'm Connie Jo Holmes, and I'm the founder of Be You to Be Full Hypnosis and Coaching, where I help people every day with relationships and emotions and understanding yourself and kind of our intentions behind everything. And so the first thing that I do want to share with you is, why does this happen, right? And so one reason why we might give somebody our power in a relationship is that we are saying yes when we actually want to say no. Well, why would we be doing that? Well, we might be doing that because maybe we're not fully confident in ourselves. Maybe we're doing that because we're not fully confident in the relationship. Also, maybe we have those people-pleasing tendencies. And so one thing that I want to share with this is, first of all, having confidence in yourself. Who are you? What drives you? What are you capable of? Those types of things, really understanding who you are at the core and being confident in that allows you to be confident in any relationship that you are in. And also, when you're confident, you do express yourself. You're confident enough to say what it is that you need, that you want, that you desire. And so that might be one area where you are saying yes when you actually want to say no. And so I really challenge you to look into that greatly. And I'm going to jump into number 2 because number 2 is going to also help with number 1. So another one is that you actually prioritize somebody else over you, or you prioritize their needs and wants over yours. Now, one thing I do like to tell people with this, and I tend to be one of these people, I am very easygoing. I'm very flexible, adaptable, those types of things. So the majority of the time, if somebody says, hey, where do you want to go out for dinner? I don't care. I seldom truly care because I'll eat anything. It doesn't really bother me. However, so pause on that. But if this is you as well, what you might find, what happens is that person, they keep asking you, what do you want? And you keep saying, I don't care. So then that gives them permission to make that choice. Well, I'm going to tell you something. Have you noticed, if that's you, have you noticed that that person all of a sudden stops asking you and they start telling you, hey, we're having Chinese for dinner tonight. Hey, I made reservations at the Mexican restaurant. And even though you don't care, after a while, you might start to feel taken advantage of, like, well, wow, gosh, I wasn't even asked my opinion. Well, and I'm not saying what that behavior that other person is doing is right, but can you start to understand why maybe they did that? They've asked you all this time and you keep saying you don't know. So you've actually trained them to treat you that way. You've trained them to have that behavior towards you. And when you stop and think about it that way, that doesn't feel too good. So even if you are a person who you really don't care, you're pretty flexible and adaptable, start to care, or start to, 1 out of 3 times, interject what your opinion is. Interject what you actually do have a preference for. And if you don't have a preference, just make one up, because then that way you start to put yourself into the equation. And when you put yourself into the equation, that other person is also going to put you into the equation. So that is a very, very important thing to do and to remember. And then that can help you to, then feel confident, right? Confident to speak up and share what it is that you want and what you desire. The last thing that people do is we then start to change ourselves to fit in with the other person. I always like to talk about this using this example. So think about Coca-Cola or Pepsi. How many flavors of Coca-Cola have there been? There's always been the classic Coca-Cola, and I think there's always been the classic Diet Coke. But oh my gosh, Coke has had so many variations of different flavors, right? They have lime infused, they have mango infused, all these different things. But you know what? What is that Coca-Cola that you can go to the store right now and always find on the shelves? The classic Coke and the classic Diet Coke. And that is because the classics stick around. Those fly-by-night flavors, they don't last. And so that is a way to look at it with yourself as well. If you are adapting yourself to fit into a person, a place, or a situation, you need to stop and ask, do I really fit in here? Now, if it's something in some place that you want to fit in, like truly at your soul want to fit in, that can be an opportunity to hold the mirror up and to say, what is it that about this person or this place that I want to fit in? What is it that maybe I'm not showing up the way that I can fit in? So that can be a life lesson and a growth opportunity. However, sometimes we want to fit in and then therefore we adjust ourselves because it's the only thing we know. It's what's in front of us. And so therefore we're just taking what's there. Well, you know what? When we do that, when we shape shift ourselves to fit into a situation and we're beating our head up against the wall, because that's what happens, what we're doing is we're missing all these opportunities out here where we would naturally fit in. So those are those three things that people are doing that are signs about a relationship. And when you realize that and you notice that, that is something that you can immediately do to change and to realize who it is you want to be in this relationship. And if you have to change yourself too greatly, it's really an opportunity to ask, is this the relationship for me? Because you know what? You can always have a relationship with yourself. I had a period in my life where I got divorced years ago. I was on the dating scene for a while. Oh, it was a little bit of a nightmare for a little while. And I just ended up taking a break. It was about a year that I ended up just kind of checking out. And that was the time that I just spent a lot of time with family and friends and things like that. And I wasn't dating anyone. And I'm going to tell you, it was a beautiful time in my life. I actually went to a wedding solo. I did a lot of things solo and it didn't kill me. I still have all my 10 digits. No one bid anything off of me. And it was actually really fabulous. And so when you can actually remember that you can also have a relationship with yourself, and that relationship can be really rich, because when you're doing that, you are doing so much self-discovery, so that when you do go out into another relationship, whether it's romantic, whether it's a friendship, whatever it might be, when you actually go out in there, you are your full whole self version of you showing up. You're not this wounded part that's still trying to figure things out. You stand up, you stand tall, you stand proud, and this is who I am. And you are going to find your tribe, or your tribe is going to find you. So trust in that. So if you have any thoughts on this, if I've missed a point or two, or else if you have a personal example with this, please drop it in the comments, because we can continue this dialogue that way, and maybe others can benefit from this as well. And if I can be of any assistance to you in any way, please look in the description box below on how we can possibly work together. And then also I have a community out in school, and I have different activities and events happening all the time. So check out my website for that information. All right. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.